this is KV, and this is the moon phase report for Aquarius. Okay, so first off, what do I need to say on every one of these? I can't remember now. I had like this thing to say on every one, and now I'm blanking. Okay, so we're not going to do that. Alright, so with this new moon, one thing I'm noticing with the moons recently, they're kind of switching where before new moons were more hopeful and start over and begin again, but they're more like almost like full moons. They're like that intense. So this one is as intense as they can come, you know. So there's going to be things that are showing up in your life. Provocation is still completely out there in the world. It's almost like that's how we're having to learn right now, is through provocation with others, through being triggered by others. So with this one, it's very much about you coming to a higher-minded place and something kind of balancing, something kind of the truth coming to the surface. So you can definitely expect that on one hand, something may be triggering you to the first degree, and that's part of something to deal with, but you're also going to be more equipped to step back and look at it from another perspective, from the other person's position or whatever, and come to a kind of higher way of seeing it and dealing with it. So the potential is there for you to really take the high road on whatever does show up in your life. It might take you a while to find the high road, but just let my words even be the seed planted that opens you to there is a high road. This is a test. Find the higher perspective of seeing what is going on instead of, you know, seeing it as bad and all your fault and you and you and you. Like, there's no mistakes in what is showing up as triggers in our life right now, and we really, you know, as hard as it is, we have to have that emotional maturity that is saying, I play a part in this. I wouldn't be triggered if there wasn't a part of me in this. So there's work there to be done. And, you know, let me like look at the chart for the first time. So, whoa, this is like falling on me. Yeah, so, okay. Oh, and I also, one thing is I recorded these the other day, but they totally disappeared. All 12 of them, I did one after the other and spent like 4 hours, and they completely disappeared. And yesterday I was going to put them up, and then I couldn't find them, and I thought I would just wait till today, hoping like, well, maybe they'll show up today, and no, they're still gone. So I am kind of really taking a big chunk out of my schedule to do these, but I wanted to because there is so much uncomfortable energy going on there with everybody right now, and I wanted to really kind of help you through that and see that it's going to be okay. This is part of the plan. So communications, yeah, okay, perfect. I'm glad I'm finally looking at this. So there is something in how you will be kind of either this liberating force, or it will have an effect on you with how you're going to communicate through the strife that is showing up. So there is something for you to need to, let me adjust this. This is like making me nervous. Okay, so I'm not allowed to squirm. Is that what this means? So something with needing to communicate in a way that's kind of like just higher minded and seeing the high road. So I guess I said that for a reason. And there, something with the trigger may be something, it's definitely going to be wound related. It's something that you possibly will be able to find the higher road by going back to your childhood and by maybe remembering how something that is triggering you in another is actually something that you picked up or felt in childhood. So maybe it's something too that you've even felt like you've worked over and you can see through and you're not repeating, but you are being triggered as a test now to see, you know, can you have compassion for somebody else going through the same thing, or does it push all your buttons and make you pissed off at them? So kind of understand there's a key to this that is going to come from you looking into your past, looking into your times of growing up, and really kind of having compassion and love for whatever the person is expressing, kind of just feeling compassionate for you. You know that road, you know, that's why it's triggering you. but it doesn't help to be pissed off at them and blame them when you did the same thing. And obviously there is still something in you that needs to be healed, and that's why you're being triggered. You know, if you were healed, like they kind of say, it's like if you were healed, you don't get emotional telling the story, and you don't get emotional when somebody else is going through the same thing. When you are healed, you see it with compassion and understanding, and you want to actually help that person. You want to actually be that piece of, here, let me show you another way that it can be. Here, let me help you move through this. You know, let me be somebody as an example that can help you shift into a higher perspective in regard to this thing that needs to be healed. So that's going to be a big flavor of what's going on. And actually, you know, the energy is really pushing to kind of have these better relationships with people, to have these more quality relationships, and even, you know, more loyal, and where they feel like family. You know, there can also be something where you're seeing things in people that you don't like and that don't feel like family. And I'm always going to be the first one to say, if it doesn't feel good, let them go. If they bring you down, if they make your light dim, let them go. You know, we have to get over our attachments to thinking like, even just because they're our blood family, you have to, you know, be with them to the end. The ones that do value you and honor your unique qualities and allow you to be who you are, then yes, absolutely, you'll never let them go. But most likely the ones where there is something of an imbalance, it's kind of best to just give them space, and give them space, but also be open to the fact that they may come back, you know? So it's not like you want to burn a bridge and cuss them out and put them down and say a lot of words that make them feel like they're nothing and there's something wrong with them, but just kind of walk away peacefully and just have it in your heart that, you know, when the time is right, we'll come back together. Or if, you know, if the time is right, we'll come back together. But not to have so much charged energy and anger there. So something like that can also be clearing up within your awareness. So career is really, really a really big spot right now, and it will continue to be through this very intense eclipse season that we are now in. It's all going to be starting really soon. This is kind of, you know, the intensity is kind of what we're feeling right now. And we have to understand that, you know, especially eclipse season and, you know, Scorpio is, on this end of it, is, you know, pretty intense. And then coming together with the Pluto-Uranus, you know, and actually Grand Cross that's going on right now, although it's kind of a far off, because Jupiter's at 19 degrees. But still, like, the intensity of the Sun Moon being at that hot spot I talk about, you know, in Libra, and then moving the next one, we move into the official, you know, eclipse, full moon, lunar eclipse. And so it's intense, you know. I would pretty much expect for the next, like, even 6, maybe even 8 weeks, it's going to be pretty intense. But just to kind of trust in your heart that everything that's falling away, that everything doesn't feel good, that everything that's feeling like lost from you is things that you're really not going to need. And we're also about to go into, Mercury's going to go retrograde on the 20th, and he will be traveling over this time that we're at right now. So trust too that we're not in a big time of coming to understandings or coming to conclusions for things. There's still a lot that's up in the air. There is a lot that is still in a confusing state, and that's okay, and that's how it's supposed to be right now. So even kind of rest assured that, you know, once Mercury does its dance, and I think like on the 10th maybe Mercury goes direct, which will, November 10th, Mercury goes direct, and then the solar eclipse is on November 3rd, so right after that. So, you know, we're going to start to gain more clarity. We will get the clarity into the times that we're in now, but if you can just trust this process and not think you need all the answers, and not think that anything's wrong, and not judge what falls away, you know, just really, the best thing that we can all really do right now is to go into that eagle state, where we are just seeing things from an overall view. You know, if it means that we have to go back into our past and check out, you know, remind ourselves how things have always worked out, you know, all those times when you thought, that's it, I don't know what I'm going to do, you know, but then that a year ago you look back at that and you're like, oh my gosh, it didn't even matter now, it was nothing. So we really do need to go to those spaces of seeing how it's all okay, no matter what, it's okay. Even if it's the most devastating thing and somebody's dying or, you know, anything like that, it's still okay. Uh, this is something I don't know why I brought up death, but I had gotten this information that I was supposed to be sharing that I eventually will be sharing with everybody. I just haven't found the space to yet, but how, you know, when, you know, it was kind of in relation to animals, and when animals die or when they go through torture from all the devaluing that's going on in the animal kingdom by human hands, by unconscious human hands. But, you know, I was told that, you know, once you die, you do not remember an ounce of pain. And it's just something where we need to realize that when we are so bombarded with the devastating things that we see in the world and that are happening to other people, but just knowing that when you die, nothing, nothing is looked back by us, by the animals, as something that lingers into the next space. So you don't sit there and think, I was so hurt, I was so hurt, I was so hurt, like it's just gone. Like you just walk into a new space and it's completely gone from us. So I don't even know why I brought that up. I don't see this in here at all. But just kind of know that, you know, no matter what is happening to you and in your life, it's not going to mean hardly anything down the road, even maybe even a month from now. So we're always being tested, especially now. This is the biggest testing time ever, to just stay cool and stay calm and not get too worked up. You know, be careful with the words. The words really need to be monitored because words stick, and hurtful words hurt, and they're never for the good, and it's always us speaking through the filter of our own wounds, and it takes someone who's emotionally mature to see that in another, but we most likely forget how emotionally mature we are when it's happening, and we just get defensive and want to fight back. So that's something really important to think about, is your words, Go slow with your words, really like think about the potency of your words. Silence is golden, you know, in those heated, hot moments. So a lot of this too with you is there's going to be very much that you're wanting to talk about with your career. You're going to be very much wanting to align yourself in this perfect position and bring it through, and you're going to be a lot more serious about it too. So you're going to be moving into a more, like the solar eclipse is going to be right up there in your career house. So understand too, like any of this stuff that's shedding from you is maybe things that you don't need to take with you when you do when you do move into this higher public position of being seen and being valued for what you're bringing. So anything that is falling away, kind of think that in the back of your mind, like, whoa, this is like, if I pass this test, I will have a kind of easier pass in regards to things that are career related for me. So think about that, you know, think about it like, always think about, you know, I think I said it on the last one, I hope I haven't said it yet, but I'll get confused now, but think about that you're always being watched, you know, and because this is a really big testing time, and just imagine that there really is a council up there watching you, and you're being graded, and how good you deal with things is what moves you to another level, quicker or slower. So, you know, I was saying about how, you know, we all are such good girls and boys when we know we're being watched. So even if you can just trick yourself into thinking that every time something's happening, think about you're being judged. You know, how you're responding to this, how you're reacting, how you're treating others, how you're dealing with the provocation is being judged. So someone's sitting there giving you a 1 through 10. And if you get 10s right now, you will have a much more beautiful time moving into more opportunities with your career. So that's really cool. So New moon affirmations. I am coming to peaceful understandings with others. I am seeing other people's point of views and striking the balance. I am coming to higher perspectives of things. I ride the high road. I am a high road rider. I am a high road rider. I am a high road rider, you know. I am expanding my mind in some way. I am open to learning new skills. Yeah, we're going to leave it at that, because since this is my second time doing them, I don't want to be here too long again. So you have a beautiful new moon. I will probably be back again soon, because this is going to be so intense. I think I'm going to do like weekly videos for a while, just to keep grounding you, just to keep grounding you, just to keep grounding you, because nothing is out of order right now. This is so perfect. We just can't see it right now, but you will see it. And you can mark my words, and you can come back to these, especially in 6 months' time, and you'll be like, man, she told us. And you'll be like, yay, it's good, finally, after that extremely long period of darkness. You know, the light's always going to come back. So you have a beautiful new moon, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye. 2